Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have Lexi, teacher Lexi here with me. Hey Lexi.
Hey.
How were your classes this morning?
They were not too bad. I had some pretty engaged students, so that's always fun. That helps.
Today for me was great, but last night I was messaging my friends. I'm like, he stuck his tongue out at me. He was yelling in the microphone. I mean, I've had it many times before, but this one was relentless. And one of the firemen popped up and said, just letting you know, we're messaging the parents about his behavior. So obviously it's not the first time he's done it.
No, that's good. That's good. That's good that they were helping.
Right. Yeah, I was very, very pleased about that. So, all right. Just so you know, Lexi, if I'm looking like down, I have your questions here. And if I'm looking
Okay.
to the right, I have the live chat. So
Okay, sure.
it's kind of multitasking, but I'm sure you know all about that. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I am from Oklahoma and I lived in Texas. So you'll hear my y'all, my Southern a little bit. And now I live in Indiana. So I moved a little bit and I am a mom of 7 kids. There are 7 of them.
Wow,
6 are
great.
girls. 6 are girls and
Ooh.
1 is a boy. Only 1 boy. He is the most patient child you will ever meet. He's going to be a wonderful husband. So someone was going to snatch him up. Yeah, he's so patient.
And is he like in the middle?
No, he's the second one. So we had girl, boy, and then all the rest are girls. So he has tons of little sisters.
Wow.
Yeah. So patient. So yeah, I have my 7 kids. I homeschool them. I've homeschooled them all the way through. So I have right now a high schooler and I have a preschooler. That's my youngest. So I have everything, all of the ages. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Wow. And a baby.
And yeah, well, she's a preschooler now. She's 2. She's toddler, preschool. So yeah, still a baby pretty much.
Great. I'm sure she wants to learn with her brother and sisters when they're sitting. She wants to do school too.
Yeah, she writes all over their homework. They really appreciate that.
So cute. Very good. Let's see. James said, Kasie, have you ever taught NVGC Level 3, Unit 8? I have that class tomorrow morning, and following the recommended times only gets me out to about 12 minutes. James, with some of those, you really have to extend on the slides. And if they don't get it, it's going to take you longer. And if they get it, then you're going to really want to extend. So I would say have some extensions ready. What do you think, Lexi?
I have not taught that one, but I definitely keep some pictures handy, some pictures that kind of go along with the lessons. And I'm like, let's talk about this. So kind of a little bit off topic, but still ties back into the lesson. So I try to have just a lot of extra props to use for my extension on classes like that.
I'm trying to think, is that the one with the conjunctions? I did subordinating conjunctions last night, and I had to extend with him too. He was a great student. This was not the naughty one. Hey, Giselle. Giselle said howdy. I was wondering when you would ask her on. Oh, see?
I'm here. I'm here now.
Yes, we've got her on. If you have any more suggestions, Giselle, you just let me know. I was just telling Lexi that someone had told me I should have her on. Was it you, Giselle? I don't know. Okay. Did I interrupt you, Lexi? I warned you that I'm busy.
No, I'm in Indiana. I have 7 kids. That's pretty much my life. There's not a whole lot else fun about me.
Should we list out your companies?
We can
Can
try.
We remember them all?
I might forget some. I'll try.
It's, we did forget one on her thumbnail. So.
I know. Sorry. I get confused. Yeah, so VIPKID is one. That's where I started. GoGoKid, the other big Chinese company. So I'm with both. I added Zebra English, another Chinese company. And then One-on-One English, my company in Vietnam. And I've recently started branching out a little bit more. So I added Magic Years. Who knew? I've been avoiding them for like a year, but I was like, I'll just try it. I actually kind of like it. It's fun. So another Chinese company. And then I added, what did I add? Oka. I call it Oka, Online Kids Academy, which is in Turkey. So I wanted to branch out a little bit from China. So I added them. And then I also added Starkid. And Starkid is in Hong Kong. So not China if you ask people in Hong Kong. Yes, China if you ask people in China.
Right.
So it's Hong Kong. They're Hong Kong. So I just added them and started this week. And then I just interviewed with Tootie Kid. I think that's how you say it. It feels weird saying that, but 2D Kid. And so that is who I have another interview, I think on Sunday. So I think that's most of them. So I tried to branch out a little bit from China. Yes, I am technically hired at NovaKid, but they haven't onboarded me. So they say September is when they're going to onboard the next batch of teachers. So I'm hoping to add that. So they're mostly in, I think, Russia and Saudi Arabia. And then they have some students in like Italy and some other places in Europe.
Wow.
So
great.
We'll see. Yeah, waiting on that one.
James said he's watching us and surfing the internet now. James said, I applied for one-on-one and haven't heard back. The office is about 4 or 5 miles from his house.
Oh, so when did he apply?
Drop in.
Yeah, go by and ask them. They are hiring right now. They just opened up hiring this week. It's going to only be open for this week. So if anyone is interested in working in Vietnam, you apply like today, now. So that's important.
Lexi, the links you gave me, are those all referral codes?
Some of them are. I don't have a referral to Online Kids Academy or Tootie or Starkid. Okay. I don't have referral links. They're just regular links. They don't do referrals. Okay. But I still help people get hired there because I want them to be able to branch out if they want to. Right. But I don't think they have any type of referral program.
Now, someone from Splash Learn was here and they didn't have a referral code, and Splash Learn heard that she was helping other people and they gave her a referral code their first time doing it.
Maybe some of the companies will add that. I've asked, but hopefully they will. So we'll see.
I think starting out and helping people from the goodness of your heart, like, is good karma for later, you know?
I hope so.
Okay, well, we have 8 in the chat. Hey guys, if you have questions for me or for Lexi, please put them in all caps so I can make sure I get to the questions. Sometimes I miss them if they're not in capital letters. Let's see. Giselle has a question. She said, what is the pay for one-on-one?
I think on average it's like 16 to 18 per hour. So that's kind of what they're offering right now. So it's a little lower than China. Most companies outside of China have a little bit lower pay, but they give you different hours. So one-on-one gives you that 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern that you lost with China. So that 1 hour that we've lost in China, you can get that with one-on-one. So that's why I was really excited to be able to teach there and have that hour back. But yeah, that's their pay. They do give you like a $1 bonus if you teach 45 classes a month, things like that. So kind of similar to other companies that we're used to. But yeah, I think the highest that anyone would get is maybe 18. A lot of it's based on your mock class performance, I think.
Okay. So I know you said you started with VIPKID. How long have you been with them?
A little over 3 years. So yeah, I should have my orange hoodie, but I wasn't going to pay for it. So I'm orange hoodie eligible, but I didn't
I was just going to ask you that.
No, I didn't get one. I know. They switched it and then they make you pay for it. And I wasn't going to.
So what was your why for starting with VIPKID? Or what was your why for starting online and teaching?
Well, growing up, I never wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be an attorney. And then we had kids and I really wanted to homeschool them. And my husband was like, sure, we'll try that. And here we are still homeschooling, like 12 years later or something. So I really found that I enjoyed teaching. And my husband made the switch from his corporate job to now he works in a university. So he's a professor at a university. So he's also an educator. And that meant lower pay for him. So great hours. He's home during the summer. He's off in January, off for a lot of December. So we get to see him a lot, but we had to make the sacrifice of lower pay in order to see him, which was totally worth it. But I decided that as my kids got older, they started doing sports, and kids sports are super expensive.
Yeah, I only had 2 in sports and it was very expensive.
It's very expensive. So I thought I would try to find something that I could do from home to add a little extra income so he wouldn't feel as stressed. I wanted him to feel like he made the right decision in giving up his corporate job. Yeah. But I tried blogging. I have a homeschool blog and I love that, but doing it for money and having to do like the ads, and it just was not me. It didn't feel authentic anymore. So I didn't enjoy that. And I saw another homeschool blogger who had jumped into VIPKID and I was like, ooh, what is this? I watched all the videos, which at the time was like all Nancy Taylor, all of her videos. And I made my husband watch them. I was like, look, I want to do this. And he was like, you do? And he was like, honey, you do realize you're like very much not Nancy Taylor. Like, you're just not that. He was like, so, well, okay, why don't you try? But he didn't think that I would get hired or anything like that. And he didn't want to say anything. But he was afraid that I would get rejected and not pass. Somehow I did pass, even though I'm sure it was terrible. And I got hired at VIPKID, and it was just all about some kind of extra income. But then I found that I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed being able to meet the students and have something that I did for myself. So then I really branched out into other companies because it kind of was more than just earning money. It was kind of like my hobby of you know, what I enjoy doing. So it was about the money, but now it's about a lot more.
Good. So let's see, you answered that one. Okay, what does your schedule look like? I wrote on here VIPKID, but maybe you can. I can't even imagine with 7 kids and I don't know, 7 companies. How many companies do you have?
Yeah, a lot. So it is a little bit crazy. And my husband had made me, can you see my little spreadsheet
I can,
here?
That's great.
So yeah, I have my color coded so I know where I'm working what day.
Is VIPKID orange?
I don't get confused. No, that is Starkid. Starkid is orange. That's Starkid.
Wow.
Yeah, Starkid is also orange. They're kind of very similar to VIPKID.
Ah.
Yeah, they're pretty similar. But I actually haven't been opening for VIPKID lately because I needed a break from my regulars.
Yeah.
Yeah, 75 lessons with my one student. I am 7-year-old. And I was like, okay, years. 75 lessons, still haven't mastered it. And I was like, I need a break. I've tried everything. So I was working more at GoGoKid until the whole bite dance weirdness. And now a lot of us aren't sure if we're going to get paid in September. Because GoGoKid is owned by ByteDance, and we're paid through ByteDance. And
that's right. Like TikTok.
The executive order TikTok. Yes.
Okay.
So that could impact GoGoKid. So I've just closed down GoGoKid in the meantime, just to wait and see what happens. But I was working more at GoGoKid because they pay me more than VIPKID. So the pay was a lot better there for me anyway. But now I'm teaching Starkid in the morning from like 3 to 4:30 or 5. So 3 a.m. till about 4:30, I do some Starkid classes. And then I either do some Zebra English or Magic Years, kind of in the middle. And then I end my morning in Vietnam. I have 1 hour every day in Vietnam at the end of my day. And then in the middle of my day, so from like 11 to 1, so 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., I pick up some hours in Turkey because that's kind of their peak time. So it gives you daytime hours, which is why I added it. Because those are not hours you can book in China. They're sleeping. Wow. But I do some during the day with them.
So no out school for you, huh? You don't want to do lesson plans?
No, I really don't want to do lesson plans. I think because I do so much for my own kids that doing it for other people's kids, I just don't want to. It just seems like a lot.
I was the same way because I've been a brick and mortar teacher for 8 years. But then I realized I have all the lesson plans done. Yeah. You know what I mean? So for me, I was like, okay. So
yeah, I've thought about it, but I just don't know what I would teach or what I would want to do because I wasn't ever a teacher. I just don't know. I can teach English, I can teach the kids and make it fun and do all that, but anything else, I just don't know what I would want to teach. Definitely not math, which is why I did not apply at Splash Learn.
Yeah. I love science, so I just made some science classes, some STEM like experiment ones. So I'm excited to see how those do. James said Vietnam has different educational times. I teach one girl from 9:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. Yeah. Wow. That's a late one, James.
That is.
Let's see. So back to VIPKID really quick. Did you have a favorite level? Or
I did not like level 3 because those kids, some of them do really, really well. And then some of them are really, really not ready. And then some of those lessons were really challenging. They've revamped them.
I was just going to say,
They've been really revamping them, which has helped. But for the longest time when I was teaching them, they were those horrible mammals and birds. And oh my word, just nightmares of those lessons. So I actually found that I liked the pre-VIPKID level. Even though they drove me crazy with the songs and they get stuck in your head, but the lessons were just quick. And because they had more interactive features, it was easier to keep the kids more engaged. Whereas the upper levels, they're more interactive now. But when I started, they were very static and pretty boring.
Oh no.
So, it was just hard to keep the kids engaged. So level 1, the pre-VIP, I enjoyed the little people and singing the really goofy songs, traveling to the other countries when they had those lessons. And I liked level 2, just getting them, to start learning. The upper levels, because they have so much reading, I just found time management was really hard sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. There's something I was going to say about that. I can't remember about the upper levels.
They're
I don't
fun.
know,
I love chatting with them.
Yeah, I really thought I'd like all the babies because I've been a kindergarten teacher for 8 years. But I do still love the babies. But I really enjoyed being able to talk with the older ones. So yeah, that was fun. Let's see, you answered the other companies. Do you have a favorite platform? Like I heard Zebra English is a lot more like games and stuff.
It is. So that was my favorite platform when I joined it. I had been at One-on-One, VIPKID, GoGoKid, and I joined Zebra English, and that was my favorite because I loved the games, and it was just a little bit more interactive and more fun to teach. I loved the role play that we would do with the kids because it really got them to answer questions instead of just parrot everything back at you, which was always a struggle at VIPKID and GoGoKid. They would just parrot me. It was really hard to help them. So that was my favorite for a long time, and I'm a mentor there. So that was just really fun to be able to help other teachers there and do their workshops. So I love that. However, I have found that I'm really enjoying Magic Years, which is something I never thought I would say, because you have to be so happy in all of your Magic Years classes. Yeah, you are smiling all the time. However, I find them really fun, and managing the 4 students and dragging them around and asking them questions was not really that intimidating, probably because I have 7 kids and I'm just used to that.
Wait, Magic Years is 4-on-1 or 1-on-4? Oh, I didn't know that.
There are 4 students in many of the classes, and I find that I like it. I don't mind managing and going back and forth, and it makes the classes go by so much faster, which I think is my favorite part. I look up and it's like, oh, time to go. So they go quick. But I just joined Online Kids Academy in Turkey. And I will have to say, those are probably my favorite students to teach. I don't love their lessons. They're a new company. They're still growing and changing and all their curriculum out. But those students speak extremely well. And they can converse at a level far beyond any of my Chinese students, even the little ones. And so we just talk. And it's been really fun to get to know them. It's just so different. So that has been really exciting to meet the students in Turkey and just hear them chat with me because, wow, they speak very well. And the students in Hong Kong actually can speak and converse better than the Chinese students. So those 2 platforms have surprised me. I really enjoy the conversation aspect of those.
Oh, good. I have quite a few friends that are from Turkey, and one of them has said that they learned English at a young age there too.
Yeah, the students seem to have a really good grasp. Even if they can't read any of it, they can have a conversation and even output sentences with me. They're 5. They can't read it all, but they can speak in English. So it's kind of exciting and fun. It just takes a lot of the pressure off me for the teaching part, and we can just chat.
Right. For those that don't know, with VIPKID, they have like learning objectives. And last night, one of the students was reading the learning objectives. So, I was like, okay. Well, he was reading like subordinating conjunction and like breaking these huge words apart. I was like, wow, you rock, man. Let's see. What is Starkid? Is this the Hong Kong company?
It is. They're based in Hong Kong. They're new. They're a startup. Their lesson plans, you would be surprised. They look a lot like some of the VIPKID upper level slides even.
Oh, really?
They look very similar. So I wonder if some of the staff maybe worked for VIPKID at some point or another.
Yeah.
And now came back to Hong Kong to create a company. But yes, it's based in Hong Kong. I just started there on Monday. So I don't have tons of information. But if anyone is wanting more, they can always message me. And I can let you know if they're hiring. They are hiring kind of small batches of teachers as they grow because the company does book you and they do guarantee that you will get booking. So they are hiring slowly, but their pay is a little bit higher. It can be anywhere from $20 to $25 an hour.
Okay.
So it can be more than VIPKID. As you convert more trial students, your pay actually goes up. So it's not about your participation and that sort of thing. It's the number of trials that you've converted to regulars. And as you reach different levels, your base pay goes up.
Oh, that's neat. That's
it's kind of neat and different.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I was super excited for Outschool. I taught one day for 1 hour and I made $77. I was like, wow.
That's nice.
Yeah. So, and then of course I'm like, I hadn't had any classes ready yet because I wasn't sure I was gonna like it, And now I'm like, quick.
Yeah, I know. I should look into it. I just haven't taken the plunge because it just seems intimidating.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll try for one-on-one again since I can speak some Vietnamese and I've been teaching in Vietnam for 12 years now. Hey, Rachel, thanks for coming. Let's see. Rachel said, I agree. Conversing with others is great. Oh, James said he failed Magic Ears twice.
Their hiring process is tough and they have very, very specific things that they're looking for. When I got hired, I used one of my friends who teaches there and I was like, okay, tell me what I need to do and what I need to know because they are looking for very, very specific things. And like I was telling you earlier, like I have a door and they're like, you cannot have a door. I was like, sorry, no door now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very, very picky. So you have to go into it knowing that their level of pickiness far exceeds any other company that I've ever applied with. So super picky there.
So James, did they give you feedback on what you could work on, or I'd like to know? And Lexi, do you know anybody that has Magic Ear videos, or do you have any on helping get?
I have a couple that I just started putting out. So I was going to try to make some more now that I've been there for about 2 months. So I kind of know a little bit more of what they're looking for, but I'm definitely going to make some more.
Yeah.
But Magic Ears themselves actually has their own YouTube channel and they have some pretty great content.
Okay.
And you can watch entire classes. Like you can watch a whole 25-minute class to really see what it's like and what they're looking for. And that really helped me when I was going through the process to kind of see what they consider a great class, what they're looking for. So that helped me a lot.
So James, also her link to her channel is on here. So if you want to take a look at that, go for it. Let's see. Starkid, we talked about that. What's the pay for Starkids? I think you just mentioned that.
Right. Yeah. Base is $20 per hour. That's the minimum you'll get. And then as you convert more trial students, you get like $1 for 5 trial students that you convert. And then you get another $1 when you have 10 that you've converted. So your base pay just bumps up as you convert trials. So I started Monday. I've converted 2 trials this week. So 3 more and I can get a bump in pay.
Nice. So sometimes there's a delay. So I get the questions after you answer them sometimes. But I want to make sure I ask them. Oh, she said, okay. How long has Starkids been in existence? Is it fairly new?
It is fairly new. I think it was established in 2019. So I think just last year. So I don't even know if it's been in existence for a complete year. Yeah. And their hiring process was me doing a Zoom call with their co-founder. And I didn't teach anything. I didn't do anything. We just chatted and he was like, okay. So I'm sure they'll add more to their hiring process. And maybe he already knew me through YouTube. I don't know. But he was like, all right. And that was kind of it. So our meeting was just mostly about the company. But they're in Hong Kong, which doesn't really have their own kind of ESL platform currently. So Starkid is right now kind of Hong Kong, which of course, other companies market in Hong Kong, but this one is based in Hong Kong. So they do say that you'll be like 80 to 90% booked. And so far I have booked most of the slots. I started slowly giving them like 3 slots a day and I'm booking most of them. So it's been pretty good.
So in a Hong Kong, can't they have that last hour that VIPKID had to take away?
They might. I don't know. I don't work that late because I already work it in Vietnam. So I didn't ask about that hour, but they probably don't have the same restrictions that China does. So they can kind of do whatever their students want to do. If they want classes that late, they can. I start at 3 a.m. there. So they have, classes right after school at 3. They're the same time as Beijing time, I think. So I teach them right when they come home from school. I start early there.
3 a.m. And then you work till, what'd you say, 11 a.m. Then you homeschool.
I end at 9. And then I go work with my kids until 11. So I have kind of a block in the middle. I work with my kids. And then I teach for like an hour and a half with Online Kids Academy in Turkey. Just very limited hours because I don't have time to do more. And then I go back upstairs and do some more homeschool with my kids after they've eaten lunch and do their piano lessons. Because I also teach my kids piano. Which really just tests my patience. Much more so than homeschooling does. Teaching them piano is really, it tests my patience. And then I start driving them to all of their activities after that. So I don't work evenings. A lot of people do the split shift thing. I'd rather start at 3 and then go to bed at like 7:30. Because I just, in the evening with driving them and then trying to come back and want to teach, I don't want to teach.
I think when the kids go back to school, I won't be doing my split shifts anymore. I just started picking up some of the evening ones when they were out of school, but
Oh, it's hard. It's really tough. I find that I'm crabby at night. I don't feel like I'm a very fun teacher. I feel cranky.
Right. And I'm not a crabby person, but yeah, there are sometimes, you know. Let's see. No, I even sent an email and they never answered. I think that's for maybe one-on-one.
Or
Magic Ears. Yeah,
maybe.
Magic Ears. I think I failed the last time because my wife came in the room as I was finishing the feedback and the guy asked me what the noise was. Huh.
They are picky. There can be no distraction, interruption. You have to smile the whole time. You have to use very specific TBR. And it's a long list. It's a long list. Yeah. But once you kind of get it down, they're also really picky about timing. And that's the thing that usually kills most people is just not timing the lessons well.
Oh, okay.
Because there's certain slides that you can't get to before a certain time. Like you can't get to it before 18 minutes. No. So they're really picky on their timing. But if you follow their timing, you can finish the lesson on time, which is always a nice goal to have, not running overtime.
Right.
But it is hard when you're managing 4 students trying to end on time. So their timing guides are helpful, but it is really hard at first to get used to.
So are they all of the platforms 25-minute classes?
No, Starkid and Online Kids Academy are 30-minute classes. So I kind of don't like that aspect of both of those companies because if you want to make the maximum amount, then you have to teach back-to-back classes. So I end one class and go straight into the next. So when I teach for those companies, there's no break. So I only teach in short chunks for those companies because there's no bathroom break and that's not pleasant. So I don't like that they have 30-minute classes. So you can schedule them like at Starkid, they told me I could do like a 3 to a 3:30 and then my next one could start at 3:35. So you can stagger them so that you have the break. But then eventually it would put me where I would have a hard time going into my next company. It would just really mess up my morning. So I do them back to back every 30 minutes with no break. So
what if you're like kids, a minute late? Is it like teacher no-show sometimes or?
No, they seem more flexible with that because they know you're coming straight from another class. So nothing has ever been said to me. I've never been more than like a minute late because it's very hard to end perfectly on time and jump into the next one. So, I might try to start ending my class at like 29:30 to give myself just a little more wiggle room, but nothing has been said to me. So I think they are a little more flexible.
So I feel the need to give you guys a heads up that teach for VIPKID or some of these other companies. The kids are going back to school. So I've had many people messaging me about cancellations and I looked over just now and I have 5 cancellations, 3 from in the middle of the night when I woke up this morning and 2 just now while we were talking. I had many students just find out that they're starting on Tuesday, September 1st. So if you get a bunch of cancellations, just remember that it's okay. They're probably going back to school and they need to get their schedule set. I have had some cancel and rebook a different time.
Yeah.
And I think that's why. So is it wrong that I was kind of excited that 2 of them were my 4:30 in the morning ones?
I love when my early ones
before they rebook.
Yes. I love when that happens.
What's that?
I love when that happens, sleeping in a little bit. It's nice.
I know, but last time that happened, by the time I got off my live, they rebooked with somebody else. So I'm kind of trying to sneak in here and fix that. That's so wrong. Okay, let's see. So, is that your new tracking schedule that you told me about? The one you just showed us?
Yes, this is my newest one with Starkid at the top. You can see Starkid is kind of the red. So I have a little bit longer Starkid days on Wednesday and Friday. And then Magic Ears is yellow. So you can see all my Magic Ears going on in there. And then green is Zebra English. And then the pink down here at the bottom is one-on-one in Vietnam. Wow. And I didn't put Oka on here because I know that it's 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I only do Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with them because Thursday and Friday my kids have activities during the day that I take them to, so I don't have time on those days.
You rock! Yeah. Wow, great job. What is a challenge that you've had to overcome as an online teacher?
Definitely balancing my schedule. I think that's the number one thing. Trying to make sure I have enough time for my family, for my kids, not feeling burnt out. I feel that teaching online has made me a better homeschool teacher. I feel like I'm just much more fun. I have a lot more fun ideas that I've gotten from lots of YouTube videos and all the workshops I've attended. So I feel like I've learned a lot of fun techniques that I use on my own children that work really well.
Good.
Not just for ESL students, but also for my kids. So it's kept it a lot more fun. So that's been good, but just feeling burnt out and being exhausted and cranky. And I don't want to take that out on my family. And this summer, I worked way too many hours and I was exhausted and crabby. And I've learned that I just cannot do that. Like the split shift thing. No, I can't do that and still be a good parent. So I think for me, it was just balancing the schedule and then almost just knowing what to do with my kids while I'm teaching. Because I started with VIPKID. And then I found out, I think a year after I'd been there, I was pregnant. We were expecting our 7th. And so that was hard. I had kind of a rough pregnancy. I was on bed rest toward the end, so had to close everything down for a while. And I didn't tell my students that I was pregnant and then got put on bed rest. And so they just didn't see me. So I showed up, like 8 weeks later with a baby and I was like, look. And they had no idea because I never showed them. They never saw. They probably just thought Teacher Lexi is getting really fat because my face looked really puffy. But that was hard, just finding, trying to find the time to teach and take care of a new baby. So just balancing time and family. So that has been, I think, the hardest part. Just not letting myself get burnt out because I do enjoy doing it and I want to continue enjoying it and not get to where I hate doing it, which is why I teach for so many companies because I was doing VIPKID only 9 classes a day, 6 days a week. I was so tired of it. So kind of alternating my days between companies also helps me stay sane.
Giselle said Lexi is almost at 1K. She needs to monetize. I'm just cheerleading and ramping myself up to start the YouTube family. Yay,
yeah, I'm getting close. I'm getting close. And I have to share a secret about my YouTube channel because I'm not on Instagram. I just can't find the time. I'm sometimes on Facebook, but again, I'm not great at responding and commenting because it's just hard to find the time. But my oldest, my 14-year-old, she's doing a lot of kind of like graphic design stuff. She really wants to learn about coding and all kinds of, IT stuff. Nice. She has taken over helping me manage my YouTube channel. So she makes all my covers. She puts everything live on my channel and she has a whole schedule that she's planned. So I have no idea what video is going live tomorrow because she hasn't planned out for me. So I've turned it over to her. So it's one of her high school credits to learn about social media marketing and management and digital like graphic design. So yeah, I'm hoping that I can continue to grow my channel, but I couldn't do it without her help. Because, I've had to really.
Well, once she learns about it, let us know because there is a young girl. She's making money. Bella, branding. Bella's branding or something. She makes like intro videos or the beginning videos for YouTube channels or things like that. So yeah, she could have a little.
Yeah, she should do that because she's really good at it. And a lot of it I haven't done. I'm hoping that I can continue to grow my channel, but I've had to balance the time. So giving some of it to her has really helped. Because I don't edit my videos.
Yeah. I'm terrible at editing. That's why I go live.
It is easier. It is so much easier. I don't edit them. It's so time consuming.
Tell her, Teacher Michael has some great videos on how to make intro videos, how to do one takes, like all kinds of things like that. He's a great resource.
She would love that.
Yeah, Teacher Michael, and he's funny. He's a puppeteer. He was on here. He's hilarious, and he's as busy as I am. So we were laughing through the whole interview because we both just are very hyper people. How do you handle tough or distracted kiddos?
I just try to surprise them with something. I teach with MannyCam, which I started off with like right when I first got hired. That was one thing that I told my husband. I was like, Nancy Taylor is so fun. She has all these props. I cannot teach with a puppet. I'm terrible at it. I'm just not very creative or fun. And so I saw some videos of teachers talking about MannyCam, and my husband was like, then you should do that. And so he helped me get it all set up and get it started. And so I've been using MannyCam, and that has been a huge lifesaver for me because when they get distracted, I just do something weird. And, I'll turn into a cat and just be kind of sitting there. And then they're like, what is happening to the teacher? So I just like to try to surprise them when they are not cooperating. And like today I had one student who was yelling at me. She told me she was tired. So, therefore it was like, okay to yell at me like that. And with some of them, I just call them out. I'm like, okay, I'm so sorry you're tired, but we're not going to yell at teacher today.
Yeah.
And so I do that with some of my students. I have another student who tells me I don't talk in class. I'm like, oh, we do. In class, we talk in English.
Yeah.
So some of them I call them out, but usually I try to use some humor and just surprise and distract them. Or I'll hold up something and we're learning apple. I'm like, look, it's an apple. Like, teacher? No, it's not. So I'll do something like wrong and just try to surprise them, because ultimately I'm not their parent. And many of them, sometimes they don't want to be there, and it's not my job to discipline them. So I just try to make it fun. And if they continue ignoring me, I just teach myself. I'm like, hey, I'm on my own YouTube channel
I'm like,
and I just teach myself.
Dino will do it. Little boy got so mad last night. I'm like, yes, Dino, woohoo, you get the star, Dino. Stop, Dino. And he's like, no. And I'm like, oh, do you want a star? Okay, let's start.
Yeah, let's do it. I teach my potato head. He's really smart. He gets everything right. And eventually, sometimes they'll start participating. I know. Yeah, that's always what gets them. They're like, teacher, something is wrong. That's okay. At least they're paying attention to me now. So I just try to distract them with what I'm doing. But yeah, sometimes they won't participate, and it's just, I do what I can, but it's not my problem. It's not my problem.
I was just looking. So I told you there's a delay. You just held up the potato head. So do you have a favorite teaching moment or a funny story?
Goodness. Well, I did have a weird experience just this week that was kind of funny. I was teaching for Magic Years, and I had a full class, 4 students. A couple of them were new trial students, and it was a lower level class. And I usually start off the class with my fruit hat. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So we dance and we say hello, and I greet them. And the student wouldn't greet me. He wouldn't say hello or say his name. And I introduced myself to them individually, and he wouldn't talk. And his mom was telling him to say something to me. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And finally, I got what they were saying. It was, "Are you from Africa?" I was like, what? No. And I guess because my hat. And then the mom goes, "Then why are you wearing that hat?" And I was like, "Because I like fruit." Does there have to be a reason? But it was just funny. And so I really, it's just interesting, the questions that I get asked. And one of my favorites was at some of the companies, you have your intro video that parents watch and students watch before they have class with you, or when they're choosing you as a teacher. Right. And I had one student who was new to me. I wasn't a trial or anything, but I never taught the student before. It was a VIPKID student. And the mom was off to the side poking the student, trying to get the student to ask me something. And finally, the student goes, "Teacher, you have 7 children?" And I was like, "Yes." And I could hear the mom making noises in the background, and the mom was like, "Oh, what?" But that was the reason they booked with me. They wanted to know, like, is that true in my video? Like,
right.
I was like, yeah, that's true. But yeah, and they never booked with me again. I think they booked with me like that one time just because they saw that and they were like, "Are you sure? Is this accurate?" Yeah, that's right.
My friend Cindy, she has 13. She's got a YouTube channel. You might have seen her.
Yeah, I have seen her.
Yep. 13. I love hearing the story about big families, or not the story, but stories about big families. I only have 2, but
it's fun. Our house is crazy, but it is really fun. My kids always have someone to play with. And there's always some type of game or something crazy going on. So it's always fun, but it's exhausting.
Right, I'm sure. Yeah. Just driving 2 around was a lot in sports, I can imagine. I think you kind of answered this. Are you tech savvy?
Not really. No, I know. So my husband, we were talking the other day about my whole online ESL journey, and he was like, "Yeah, I kind of didn't think it was a legit thing when you first told me about it." Then we watched Nancy Taylor, and I was like, don't think that is going to ever be you. Because he was like, "Honey, you don't really like people." He was like, "You don't really like talking to them."
Right.
And he was like, "You are not good at using the computer." Because he bought me a new computer, and it took me 30 minutes to figure out where the on button was. And he was like, "Babe, this isn't working so well." So no, I am really not tech savvy. So he's the one that helped me get started with everything. He helped me figure out Manicam. He would be watching like YouTube tutorials with me to help me figure it out.
Yeah.
So I've had to really learn these things, and it does not come easy to me.
Yeah, me neither.
but he was watching me teach. Sometimes he'll stand outside my door and like watch my classes because they're just crazy. And he's wondering what I'm doing in here. And afterward, he was like, you're just like, you click your Manicam. And I was teaching on Zoom because it was in Vietnam and they don't have a platform. So I've got like Zoom and Google Slides. And then I'm doing my reward with Google Slides. And then I've got Manicam. I have like all these things up and I'm just like switching back and forth. And he's like, you've gotten better. But yeah, as far as like YouTube, my daughter will come like do things and help me figure it out. So I'm not which is sad as an online teacher to say that I'm really not tech savvy, but I have learned a lot and gotten better.
I'm getting James said if you have 2 more, you can have a baseball team.
No, that's okay.
That is something my husband would say because he loves baseball. Actually, our son played baseball in college too, so all the way up.
That's fun. Yeah, my kids are golfers and swimmers, so we swim and golf. Yeah, and those are expensive sports, so I can't afford any more of them to do that. They're also expensive.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. So I don't see any more questions in here. Before we get to the final 3 questions, do you have anything you want to mention that we forgot, or I'm trying to think?
I don't think so. I just really, what I try to tell everyone is please diversify if you only teach for one company. I think it's really, really wise. When I first got started, it was like VIPKID all the time, all day long. Yeah. Yes, for like a year. And I had all the orange shirts and I had like Dino and Mike and Meg in my background. Like I had all the things. And then I really realized that I needed to branch out. Not only was I getting really bored of teaching only for VIPKID, it was just, I was burning out. Yeah. But things change. Companies change. They change your contracts. They change their policies. Some of them are positive. Some of them are negative changes. Yeah. So I really always recommend to teachers, if you only teach for one, have another company, a backup company. I have worked for companies that failed. So there are some companies that I've worked for. One was Orange Talk, where I taught like group classes of kindergartners, but it didn't make it in the long term. So they ended up shutting down. So, I mean, that happens more often than some of us realize if we only know VIPKID and how big and they are and widely known. But there are lots of other little companies, and some of them, because they're smaller, you just have better communication and more opportunities to do other kind of secondary positions, which was really my goal. I wanted to be able to do some secondary positions somewhere.
Like mentoring.
So that's why, being a mentor, doing workshops, things like that, because I really love that. So that's why I kind of branched out, but I do recommend that you branch out because you never know what's going to happen with your ESL company, or goodness, with the different laws and executive orders, how things might change. You might be worried about getting paid. Right. And you might find that you just enjoy having more than one, so you don't feel as bored and burned out on the one platform. So that's kind of what I tell everyone. And that's why I did it. And that was, I think, one of the best things that I did was just branching out a little bit. I have more companies than I probably should right now. I have more companies than I probably should. I need to kind of pare down. But it is good to have that variety and the diversification. So
yeah, very good. So I have Lexi's links down below if anybody needs referral codes, or her email is there if you have ESL questions. Our YouTube channel is there. Let's get her to 1,000. I would love anybody that's still here. We have 11 people here. Thanks, guys. Go check out her channel. Subscribe. Hit the bell for her. Give a thumbs up here. And that's it. Let's ask you the last 3 questions. And then if anybody else has last-minute questions in the chat, please feel free to put them on. And let's see. So what do you think are the qualities of a good teacher?
I think one of the first things is you really have to be able to adapt to your student. When I first started teaching, it was, I was trying to manage my time and the rewards and get through the curriculum. And there was just so much that I was just kind of teaching the classes all the same way and not really adapting to the individual students. Some need more conversation, some need more repetition and practice. And they all have such different personalities. Some need more TPR. And so I think that's what is really important. And that's how you're going to keep them more engaged throughout your lesson, is really finding what really speaks to that student and adapting the lesson. So you have to be comfortable enough with what you're doing and everything that you're managing, all the times and the platforms and everything, to really focus more on the student, because it is so hard to not stress about the timing and the rewards and all the things that you're supposed to do, the props and TPR that you're supposed to do. Every company has requirements, but it's really important to focus on that student. So you need to be able to kind of let some of that go and be comfortable enough that you can put some of that on autopilot a little bit, which just takes time and practice, but being able to really adapt and be flexible with that student. And you also just have to be able to kind of roll with things. You have to be extremely patient, and you have to just not be surprised. All the times I've been to the bathroom with my students or seen mom and dad in very few clothing, just like not wearing much at all. You just kind of have to have your poker face and just keep on going. And so you just really have to be comfortable teaching yourself and just keep your smile on and just going. So just kind of have to let everything go when you teach and not feel so self-conscious. And just not feel self-conscious. That was my biggest problem when I got started. So you just kind of have to know that, yes, you're going to look a little crazy, but that is a good thing, because it will get them some laughs and keep them engaged. So
good. So where do you see yourself in 5 years? I love goals and things, goal setting and stuff.
Goals. Well, when I first started, my goal was to be a mentor somewhere. So I have achieved that goal. So that was really exciting. I hope that I can continue to grow with the companies where I work, maybe do some other behind the scenes things, help with some curriculum development, maybe do more workshops. I really enjoy doing that. I hope that in 5 years, I'm still teaching online and still loving it. I would like to branch out and maybe do kind of my own thing. I know some teachers are branching out, doing their own like private students. Maybe I could get there. I do need to try out school to where I can just branch out more. But I hope that I'm still teaching.
If you need help.
I know. I might. I really might. I do need help. But I hope that I'm still teaching online and then able to, have the time with my kids, because it's been the perfect job for me, being able to work in the morning, but be home with my kids. I'm not leaving them. And then I just turn off my light in my closet and walk away. And that's what I love about it, is I love my students, but when my light is off in my classroom closet, I'm done. I don't think about them. I can go focus on my own kids, so I don't have to take work home with me. So that's one of my favorite things about the job. So I hope that I'm still able to do it and still being able to do all the things with my kids. Hopefully, by then my kids are hopefully my youngest is reading, and I'm not, and homeschool is not quite as intensive as it is right now. So hopefully I'll be able to branch out and do kind of more things for myself too. But so not super exciting.
I think it's great. Do most of the platforms you work for have or work with have workshops?
Many of them do. Yeah.
I was told like VIPKID is such a good one to start with when you're getting started with online, because of the structure.
It does.
And
they have tons of training.
Yes.
And that's why I tell people, if you have never taught online before, that is the best place to start, because they do have a ton. Zebra English is rolling out more workshops. I'm actually giving some next week. Yay. So I'm excited because I've taken a break from them for a while, but now I'm going back to them. Magic Years has quite a few. I have found theirs to be really helpful. GoGoKid has had a few. I haven't really attended them. They don't really seem to be super organized with their training. And then the other newer platforms that I work for, there's no training. So if you haven't taught online before, those are not the places to start.
Right.
Yeah, definitely not.
And if you are VIPKID, we both have links below. Like I said, Lexi's got links for all of the ones she mentioned, even if she's not a referral coach or have a referral link, she did add them below. So I think James. Oh, hey, Teacher Daniel. Thanks for coming. He said, gotta run, great talk. James said, with what Lexi just said, I had a mother forget the camera was on and took off her clothes before going into her room.
Yes, it's awkward. It's so awkward.
Yeah, I have had a couple of awkward moments like that. Never a woman though.
I've had both, and some of them you can't unsee. You just can't. Oh dear, I know.
Okay, last question. So, what are some great teaching resources you have come across?
I think my favorite thing are just other people's YouTube channels. I love being able to listen to them. Those are the things I think that have helped me the most. It's why I started my channel, because when I was first looking at teaching online, that's what I did. I watched every YouTube video I could find. And that's how I really learned what I needed to do, how it worked, everything about it. And so watching other people's YouTube channels is probably my number one favorite thing. I know a lot of people have amazing teachers, paid teachers, you know, all these props and things, but I use more digital props than you know, the printed props, because it's just, I make such a mess and I just don't like printing them off.
I have everything.
I don't like printing them off and laminating them. And I have food and animals, and that's what I use the most. And then I have like my little simple cards. But other than that, I think for me, it's just the YouTube videos, and of course, attending workshops from the companies. Yeah. I've loved doing that. Whenever I feel like I'm kind of in a rut or feeling burned out, I go attend some workshops at one of my platforms, and it really gives me some new ideas so that I can try that in my classroom if I'm feeling really kind of over the whole teaching thing. So yeah, YouTube is my go-to for everything online ESL, I think, right
now. I'm not reading that one. Candy said it's worse with the dads.
It is. Sometimes I feel like they do it on purpose. I feel like some of them do it on purpose.
Like shock factor. Let's see if we can shock this teacher. Candy said Lexi has a gorgeous classroom background. I know.
Thank you.
I keep thinking like,
that's just my wall.
Do something like that, but being loud and obnoxious and colorful is kind of my thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I tried to do like the vinyl backgrounds. Like I have a ton of them, and I had a Harry Potter one, but it was just dark and not fun. And every time I went and I would see it in the back, I'm like,
Yeah, my closet is super deep. Like I can't even come close to my wall. Oh, so wow. I couldn't. Yeah, it's like really far away from me. So like I would have to be like way back here. Yeah, so it's a really long and like deep, like very narrow but very long closet. Yeah. It's a storage closet in my basement. So I had to come up with something that was kind of colorful, but where they wouldn't need to like look at it because there's no way that they can see it clearly.
And it can't be just one company either. So you need kind of a...
Yeah, I needed something very neutral. So I went with kind of the teal and peach because there's not really any company that has those colors. But I have had a comment on my YouTube channel that looks like I'm in the bathroom, that looks like I'm like teaching from the toilet.
Yeah.
So it looks like a powder bathroom, which I mean, it is kind of the size of a powder bath.
I did kind of think of that at one point.
Yeah, I'm not sitting on the toilet teaching, just so you know. There's no toilet here.
Diana Hernandez, you have to look at her videos. She actually teaches sitting on the toilet on a towel, and it works for her. You can't tell it's the bathroom. She turns towards the sink and has stuff. I mean,
with like a curtain behind her or something.
Yep. And she's like, look, I can do my makeup and then come over here.
I've had to do that in an emergency one day when my computer crashed. I grabbed my husband's laptop and ran to the bathroom and taught in front of my shower curtain, sitting on a towel on the toilet. So I have done that, but I don't currently do that. And I stand while I teach. So I don't know if people can tell I'm not sitting on the toilet. There is no toilet in here, although it would be really convenient. It would be convenient, but there's no toilet.
Taught in the bathroom in a hotel before.
Yes, I've done that too.
Yeah. Do you teach with those earbuds or headphones?
I do not teach with the earbuds. I used to teach with just I used to teach with earbuds, but Magic Ears doesn't allow that. So I got myself some gaming headphones. They're massive. These are the big.
That's where the sound is coming from, Lexi.
Oh, they're coming from these. They're not coming from there. How funny! They won't connect. Oh, here. Now you can hear me. My giant headphones. I tried to disconnect them, but apparently they won't disconnect. They're forever connected to my computer now, I guess. But yeah, I used to teach with, I don't teach with these because the battery would die. When you teach 11 classes in a row, they don't last that long. So I got these.
I keep in my ears. Even like the gel foam ones hurt still. Well, I don't know if you can tell, my ears are super little. So anything in my ears hurts.
Yeah.
So like
these are really comfy.
Foam, what do you call them? The earplugs and stuff when I work on the flight line, and
yeah, so I use my giant headphones now, which I really like them. They're really comfy, but I don't get to wear my tiara anymore, so that's kind of sad.
Yeah, so keep those headphones close because that's where the sound is coming from.
Okay, they're close now. I'll hold them.
So funny. So let's see. Where did you get the pom-pom garlands and the streamers?
I think I got them at Hobby Lobby. They were in like the kids' room decoration section. They have just like color themes. And so I just went through and I was like, oh, I like this color theme. So I just bought everything in that section. 2 pictures, the pom-poms, and then the little streamers, and called it good. And then I got a curtain. So
Wait a
super,
minute.
super
You
simple.
Standing up for 11 classes?
Mm-hmm.
5? I don't know if my knees could take that.
I have a big squishy mat. Yeah, I have a big squishy mat, though. It helps.
I have this, and this helps. Ooh, people have probably seen this on my channel before. I love this board.
Those are cool.
So yeah, I do. I don't know if I could do that many in a row.
It is hard. You know, I get stiff afterward. But when I was sitting, oh my goodness, my back, it just really hurt. And I had to when I was pregnant, especially when toward the end I was kind of supposed to be on bed rest. So definitely couldn't be standing and teaching.
Right.
But I find that I like it better. It keeps me more awake. I was getting really sleepy. So that was hard.
I have a stand-up, sit-down desk, so it's electric.
Yes.
So I can stand when I need to and sit when I need to. When I was doing overnights, that's the only thing. I would start getting tired, like.
I know.
You know, like,
yes.
I need to stand. So.
Yeah, I used to have the standing sitting one, but when I moved my classroom, I used to teach upstairs, but I was bothering my kids because they were like, Mom, we can hear you yelling. So I moved downstairs to the basement, and then I have this storage closet for some reason has pallet shelves. So it's like a pallet bolted into the wall. So there's 2 pallet shelves. So my computer is on one, and because I'm so short, it works as a standing. Like the lower shelf, the bottom shelf. So it works as a standing desk.
It's a perfect height for you too.
It is. It is with my computer.
Perfectly right
yeah.
There.
I know. So yeah, it was perfect. I just have like a mat covering the pallet, and I've got my computer and all my stuff. So
that's great.
But standing has been a lot better. But I was hoping maybe it would help me lose weight. So far, not so much, but I can be hopeful, right?
That's my struggle too. I should add you to our group that I've started. So Kasie, is that board for your feet or your backside? It's for your feet. So it's a wobble board. I think it might even be linked in all of my links that I usually have. If not, I can give it to you. But you stand on it. Okay, true confessions. So I stand on this, but when I'm sitting, I also keep my feet because you know how busy I am. I have to always have something different, like a sensory thing, or I have my ice cream cone that I do this with. It's so embarrassing. But I always have something sensory near me, and this board really helps with that, whether I'm standing on it or not. But it's got a thick pad, and you can stand on it, and it's also a wobble board. So it keeps you busy. It kind of moves if you're, if you get lazy, but I don't know. I love it. I used to have one in my classroom for my kindergartners that was a true like wobble board where they had to stabilize their core and everything. This one's not like that. But yeah, I'll add that if I didn't already, James. I think that's it, Lexi. We've been on here for an hour.
It's been fun though. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on my channel and hanging out. And I love your story. I know you're super busy, but I wanted to do a video on homeschooling, and I might have some questions for you if you don't mind. So.
Yeah, sure. I will try to help. I will try. I'm not an expert, but
send me an email saying no.
Everyone is still alive. My kids seem to be doing well, so we're keeping at it. So yeah, I can try to help.
Great, love it. Okay, Lexi, and thank you everyone for. Lexi, did you read it? Can you read the chat or no?
Oh, I can see it now. I pulled it up. Oh, yeah. Do I plan to have more? I don't think so. I think I'm good. Now that we have high school to preschool, it is busy with the older ones, and it's just hard to start over with a newborn again. So yeah, and teaching more kids to read. I do not like teaching my kids to read. It's so hard.
Hey, I'm making a reading thing. Maybe I can practice on your kids because I love.
You should, because
I was a terrible reader. So reading to me is like this. Teaching reading is a passion, not reading. I'm not a good reader. I don't like to sit and have a book, but teaching it so kids will love it has become something I absolutely love because I was just so terrible at it. So maybe I can use my stuff to teach yours.
Yes, you should, because I
I'll
would
be a
love a
guest
break
teacher.
from it. I would love a little bit of a break from that.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. And thanks, Lexi.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, okay, you're welcome. Bye.
If I can find